When a spoiled brat demands something, they expect to get it. So in this story, when the subscriber refuses to give the spoiled kid his science project for the science fair, this spoiled kid goes crazy and destroys it. Don't worry, the spoiled kid does get the karma that he deserves. And with that being said, let's jump right into this story. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Zach. So anyways, every year at Zach's school, there's a science fair. And anyone who's in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th grade has to partake in the science fair. It's a pretty big part of their science grade in each of their classes. Obviously, there's a little bit of a different expectation for 3rd graders versus like 6th graders or whatever. But most of the time, as long as you do something cool, you'll get an A. So anyways, this year, Zach decided that he wanted to do a paper mache volcano. I don't even know if you guys have ever seen those, but basically you make this big paper mache volcano, and then with a combination of, I forgot exactly, I think it's like some kind of like a combination of very easy to get kitchen ingredients, right? You can actually make it like explode up like a real volcano, and it's really cool. The ingredients are just, I can't remember them at the moment, but it's very easy to search up. Very common science fair type project, but also a really cool one. So Zach and his mom spend a really long time, putting together, doing this and working on it. And basically the day before the science fair, in your science class, you were asked to bring in your project for kind of like the teacher to basically give you approval or not. And not really approval, like the teacher's going to let you do what you want to do. But the teacher kind of just wants to get a sense of what the projects are. And also if there's like, I don't know, like a super inappropriate project, like there really wouldn't be, but just in case, it's like, I don't know, the science behind, I don't know, the penis or something, bro. They're going to be like, hell nah, bro, we can't have that, right? So it's kind of just like a little bit of a checkup. So anyways, the day before, they all bring in their projects, except let me introduce another kid into the equation, the spoiled kid, who we will be calling Liam from this point on. So this kid was a bit of a spoiled brat, and like he would like always get away with not doing something he didn't want to do. He'd just always get away with stuff, and he kind of had that mentality. So Liam, the spoiled brat, did not do anything. He completely put this off. He was too busy playing Fortnite. He decided not to do the project. So yeah, sure enough, on the day before, the teacher's like, Liam, where's your project, bro? And Liam's like, well, actually, it's, I forgot to bring it in, but it's really cool. And the teacher is kind of like, Liam, like, I really wanted you to bring it in today. Everyone else in the class brought it in. Like, it's really important for me to check these projects out beforehand, but fine, like, whatever. There's not much we can do now. It's not like you can go back home and get it. So, yeah, anyways, Zach, the subscriber, brought up his project. The teacher was like, oh, Zach, this is awesome. Like, this is going to be so cool tomorrow. Make sure to let me know when you're going to actually make the volcano erupt, because, I don't know, man, the teacher wanted to see it. And low-key, bro, I would want to see that too if I was at Zach's school. That's a pretty cool thing to see. So, yeah, after class, all the kids were walking out, and they were carrying their projects because they were told to store their projects in the gym auditorium type place. They set up a table for you to put your projects on. And they were supposed to keep them there overnight so that they could go the next day and find them, right? So they're walking over and they're going to put their projects in the gymnasium. And that's when the spoiled kid, the spoiled brat, Liam, comes up to Zach and is like, hey, man, so do you think that, I don't know, dude, you could just, give me your project? And Zach looks at him and Zach thinks to himself, okay. I must have just heard this kid wrong, because there is no chance this kid literally just came up to me and said, hey man, can I have your project that you spent all this time on, and then you'd be left with no project, just because, I don't know, we're such good pals. Like, dude, what? So yeah, sure enough, Zach is just looking at Liam with this look of, what did you just say to me? And Liam, instead of trying to okay, so maybe Liam could have played the angle of, oh man, I'm so screwed. You don't understand. My parents have banned me from science. They don't believe in it, so I can't do it at home, man. You don't understand. I can't fail. I don't know, maybe he could have played a sob story. But instead, Liam tries to play the angle of, I don't even know what the frick this angle was, but just listen to this. So Liam's like, dude, you're totally going to want to give me your science fair project or else. He tried to threaten Zach, and here's the thing. Liam is not some, like, crazy mafia boss, bro. Like, what is he thinking right now? They're both just 5th graders, dude. And Zach looks at him and is like, bro, what are you even saying right now, dude? The thing is, though, Liam actually did have a threat, right? But he didn't really say it to Zach, which, you know, Zach would soon figure out that Liam actually did have something. You know, okay, for clarification, Liam is not a mafia boss, guys. I just want to make that very clear, right? However, Liam was willing to go above and beyond to get what he wanted. So Liam tells Zach again, dude, you don't want to mess with me. Just give me your project and we will all go ahead. Like, life will be good. And Zach looks at him so bewildered because he's like, wait a minute. This kid actually thinks that I'm just going to give him my project. Like, you actually believe that I'm going to give you the project that I've spent all this time working super hard on just because you want me to. Like, bro, that makes literally no sense. So Zach tells Liam, dude, nope. Like, sorry, bro. Maybe you should have, like, I don't know, not played Fortnite every day for, like, the last month and actually worked on a project. Like, I hate to see it. Like, at least you still have tonight to go home and, like, scrap something together and maybe eke out a C if you're lucky here. Like, you know what? I worked hard. I put in the hard work. I made a good project, and I will collect my A. You go home and try and figure, like, you dug your own grave here. You made your own bed. Now it's time for you to lay in it. Figure it out. So, yeah, Zach was not super, I don't know. He wasn't super nice to Liam, but also, why would Zach be super nice to Liam right now, bro? Like, there's no reason for Zach to be nice to him. However, this made Liam extra mad. So Liam did something pretty bad. Anyways, they're going home for school. However, Zach notices that Liam is not walking out with them. Because basically how this worked was at the end of the day, all of the, the kids would walk out to the front of the school to be picked up by their parents or to walk home or however they got back home, right? But they would always walk together. So it was really weird for Zach when he noticed that Liam wasn't there. Little did Zach know that Liam was up to no good. In fact, Liam was about to enact some revenge. So let's go to Liam's POV for a quick second. Basically, Liam apparently was super, super angry. And instead of spending this, like, energy that he has, like, energy can't be destroyed, it can only be converted, right? So instead of spending this energy he has on brainstorming a good project idea, going home, putting in some work, putting in some effort, there's a lot of things that he could be doing right now, right? Instead of doing that, Liam decides to convert his energy into anger. Instead of trying to bring himself up, he decides that instead he is going to bring Zach, the subscriber, down with him. So anyways, Liam goes into the auditorium. And as you guys know, I told you a second ago that everyone is storing their projects in the auditorium overnight. So basically, Liam goes up to Zach's papier-mâché volcano, picks it up, and throws it on the ground, and then starts stomping on it. Liam absolutely obliterates the papier-mâché volcano. Here's the thing, though. Here's the twist. Little did Liam know that he was not the only one in the room at that time. This is a really important detail that you guys need to remember for later on. So anyways, Liam completely destroys the papier-mâché volcano. I mean, to be fair, it wasn't that hard to break because it is made of papier-mâché. Like, that stuff's pretty soft anyways. So it's not as if, like, Liam did anything that impressive. So he smashes it all up, scoops up all the smashed remains, and then puts it back on the table as if nothing happened. I think Liam was kind of hoping that, like, they would think, oh, Zach just did such a terrible job putting together his papier-mâché volcano that it just fell apart because he sucks so bad and Zach sucks, he's the worst, and Liam's awesome. That's probably what Liam was thinking right then. Yeah, so anyways, Zach was back at home. He had no idea that any of this was going down. He was talking to his mom, he made this papier-mâché volcano with his mom, so his mom was super proud of him. She was even looking into if she could take some time off work to go to the science fair to go see the papier-mâché volcano. Unfortunately, she couldn't. I mean, low-key fortunately, because she would have, she wouldn't have missed out on much, because there is, little do they know at this moment, that there is no papier-mâché volcano for them to see anyways at the science fair, as Zach will shortly see. So anyways, the next day rolls around. They get in there. Basically, all the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, they have to get to school a little bit early because it's a very special day at school where all the kindergarten, 1st, 2nd graders, and then also the 7th and 8th graders, since they don't participate anymore, they'll get there later and they'll just be able to walk around the science fair. The 1st and 2nd graders will be able to look at what they'll be asked to do later on, and the 7th and 8th graders can look back and have a little bit of a nostalgia trip. So anyways, all the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th graders have to get there early to set up the stations. So sure enough, Zach, Liam, and the rest of the 5th grade class, they get there, they stand outside the auditorium, and some guy opens it up. And they walk in there, and almost right away, Zach is scanning to look for his papier-mâché volcano, and in place of where his papier-mâché volcano is, he sees a pile of rubble. And Zach's heart immediately drops. If you made it this far into the video, comment pile down below. Get it? I'm being sneaky with these now. So P-I-L-E, pile, so like pile of dirt or whatever, pile of rubber, pile of papier-mâché. Secret word of the day, comment that down below. And also, just so you know, listen to these stories on Spotify as well. The link will be in the description. And if you're listening on Spotify, rate the podcast 5 stars. It helps me out. Anyways, so Zach sees this. And the teacher sees this too and turns to Zach and it's like, oh my God, Zach, I'm so sorry. So Zach runs up, he sees his volcano all just destroyed and he's looking at it and he's like, what happened? What happened? The teacher's like, I don't know, Zach, it looked really firm and solid when I saw it last, but I really don't know how these things happen. And I don't really know what's going on. Man, And he looks at it and he's like, teacher, I don't feel like this fell apart. This seems way too destroyed. And look, Zach doesn't know anything about science or anything like that, but it just looks as if it's too ripped apart and messed up for it just to be because of, I don't know, falling apart. And Zach's like, this doesn't make any sense. And the teacher who's I don't know, the teacher isn't one to jump to conspiracies because honestly, bro, why would you think that someone was going over to sabotage your project? That just doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, it's what actually happened. But if you're the teacher here, are you really going to tell the student, oh yeah, you were probably sabotaged by the FBI or Illuminati or something? No, you're probably just going to be I don't know, bro. I don't know. That's I hate to see it. And here's the thing. The teacher told Zach, look, you're going to get an A. I know the work you did. I just want to let you know you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. This sucks. I'm so sorry. I wish things were different. You're still getting an A. However, this is where there's a big plot twist because the janitor walks up to the teacher. And remember, guys, I said a little bit earlier when the spoiled kid, Liam, was destroying the papier-mâché volcano that he was not the only one in the room. And I did not lie. He was not the only one in the room, my friends. In fact, the janitor was also in the room. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. So sure enough, the janitor had been cleaning up the room when Liam, the spoiled kid, went in there to destroy the papier-mâché project. The janitor kind of stuck to himself and wasn't super loud, but he looks up to see Liam destroying this project. The janitor was able to get a good enough look at Liam. He didn't know Liam by first and last name because, I don't know. The janitor that isn't his job to know the kids' names, right? He just does cleaning stuff up. But he got a good enough look that he could definitely point out the kid. So he goes up to them, is like, hey, oh, I have something to tell you. Are you the guy who made this? And Zach is like, yeah, what's going on? I think for a second, Zach thought, oh, maybe the janitor was cleaning up and accidentally knocked it over. I don't know. And the janitor turns to the teacher we need to talk about something. And the teacher probably thought the same thing. And the janitor's like, so I was cleaning up last night or last afternoon or whatever, right? And I was kind of just scrubbing the floors or something. And that's when I noticed a student come in here and destroy this project and then leave. And everyone was like, oh my God, Zach didn't realize it was the spoiled kid yet. And the teacher had no idea. The teacher was like, are you sure? Are you sure? Because this just seems so extreme. Like, I don't know about you, but I would be completely shocked if a kid would go in and destroy some other kid's project. That's pretty extreme, bro. So yeah, sure enough, the teacher is thrown off guard. She's like, are you sure? And the janitor's like, yeah, I saw it clear as day. The other thing is, I don't know the students' names, but I got a good enough look that if I saw the kid who destroyed it, I could point him out. So Zach turns to his teacher and kind of looks at her like, okay, like, let's figure this out. So sure enough, right, the teacher's like, okay, well, all the students will be here at the science fair. There's a lot of students, though, because there's a lot of students. And the teacher says, look, if you do happen to see, like, maybe you should just walk around the science fair today and, like, just kind of, like, talk to people or just, like, I don't know, enjoy the science fair. And if you happen to recognize the person who destroyed Zach's project, obviously, like, just tell us, right? So sure enough, the janitor's like, yeah, I was actually going to do that anyways. I always enjoy coming to the science fair. It's such a cool thing. Like, also, he turned to Zach. He's like, sorry, bud. Like, it really sucks some kid just tried to sabotage you. I think, like, paper mache volcanoes are awesome. And Zach's like, appreciate it, bro. So anyways, the science fair commences, and Zach, instead of being at a station with a pile of mush, which is basically what his paper mache volcano is right now, he decides to walk around and just see everyone else's things, right? And that's when the teacher comes up to him and says, Zach, like, I need to talk to you for a second. And Zach's like, oh, what's up? Like, Zach's a little afraid that the teacher's like, oh, I checked the grade book and I can't legally give you an A if you don't show up with anything. But that's not the case, because the teacher says, Zach, we figured out who it was. So let me just rewind for a quick second, because you guys already know it's Liam. But you might be thinking, you might be asking, oh, did Liam show up with anything? So, kind of. So Liam showed up, and it's the funniest thing ever. Because remember, he has not, like, they've been given a month to do this project. And Liam waited till the night before. So Liam thought he'd be clever, and he got out, like, one of those Tupperware dishes and poured a bunch of dirt into it and said his science fair project was real life, but in a Tupperware dish. Yeah, he got a D on that project. Because bro really came in with a pile of dirt and was like, dude, this is fire. No, it was not. But anyways, right, so Liam was just standing at his station, and, like, people were passing by, be like, oh, what is this? And he's like, it's dirt, bro. And they're like, huh? Like, are you serious right now? And he's like, yeah, it's like the outside, but inside. Isn't that cool? And they just give him a look. They're like, you did not try at all, bro. Yeah, but anyways, so what happened was the janitor was walking station to station, not even really thinking about, oh, let me try and find this guy. He was just like, oh, let me look at all these different science fair projects. Let me enjoy this or whatever, right? And what ended up happening was he went to Liam's station. He's like, hello, son, like, what is this? And the janitor, or not the janitor, Liam's like, oh, this is this pile of dirt. It's like the outdoors, like indoors. And the janitor's like, son, did you not try it all? And that's when they lock eyes. And that's when the janitor realizes, oh my God, this is the kid. So the janitor looks at him and he kind of says, so, like, doesn't look like you put a lot of effort into this one. And Liam's like, yeah, it was a little last minute. I'm not going to lie, dude. And the janitor's like, if only you put as much effort into making things as you did destroying things. And Liam just looks at him because Liam thinks that nobody knows, right? And Liam just starts getting freaked out because Liam keeps trying to convince himself that the truth is that this janitor is literally just saying random stuff and that he didn't know. But part of Liam knows that he just got caught. So what happened was the janitor went up, found the teacher, pointed him out, and the teacher's like, oh my God, like, yes, this is one of my students. So yeah, sure enough, the teacher brings the teacher brings Zach over to Liam. Liam is in the corner. He's like sitting down. He's in timeout or whatever, right? He's told he's in big trouble. He needs to sit right there. And Zach is brought over to him by the teacher, and Zach and Liam just make eye contact. And that's when Zach remembers that Liam was the kid who said, you better give me your project or else, buddy, or else. And that's when Zach realizes that when he said or else, the or else